Right then, added little bonus today, the Ping tour truck has just returned from Madrid, so we're going to pop inside and have a little look and see where the tour players go to get their equipment adjusted and set up for them if they need any changes from one tournament to the next. As we go up the stairs into the tour truck, what do we see? Oh, Michael Newton.
I'm just getting fitted.
Unexpected in the Ping tour truck. So we've got lots and lots of putters, got metal woods, more putters, got some stuff there, some specs for players, all kinds of stuff going on. So we'll go there, how the guys are getting things adjusted. Again, lots of different things in here. Must be a challenge getting some of the stuff correct. You can see digital loft check on the driver. So it's got a little bit less on it than it says. It says 8.5, but actually middle of the club face, just under 8. And again, all the tools that the guys are needing to get everything spot on. So we can see there, again, a few specs, what the guys are looking for. Got a putter just around here that's being adjusted. It's not quite the one I've just been fitted for. And as we work round, again, another putter adjustment. And we can see there, we've got putter type, what we're looking for, lofts, how we're looking to change it. And like I said, everything in here is just exactly what the lads need to play their very, very best golf.
For the tour players, essentially.
So
So
nice
they all
job.
just come in and I build them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good, interesting, definitely.
Yeah, so just been to Madrid,
Yes,
you're saying,
back from
just
the
come back,
Spanish Open, yeah.
stocking up and ready
Yeah,
to move
so-
on again.
Busy week, because obviously we've had a situation where the guys haven't seen the truck for a long period of time, probably since last October. So things like re-grips, just general maintenance, loft and lie checks has been a big one as well. So the guys obviously been practicing through the winter, they want to know that things haven't moved. So it's that kind of stuff really. We don't do so much building at them start of the events, it's more just maintenance, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Getting them ready for the start of the season, and then when we have the opportunity to do stuff, if a new product comes out or they want to work on something, then the next few events we go from that. So, but yeah.
And do you get the guys changing maybe the odd club event to event, depending on conditions?
If somebody comes out new and they're keen to change. Things we want guys using the latest product as much as we possibly can, but also as well is that we don't want to push things on people and say, right, you must use this, you must use that. We don't ever do that. But you know, guys usually keen. The thing is as well is that they're competitive, so they'll play a practice round of another player and they'll try something and they'll try a shaft and go, okay, that's quite good, or why has that started working? So things like now, the G400 Max has been really popular with a lot of players, and there's been a few more players, especially in the States when I was over there for a month, a few more players want to try that, so they're seeing the advantage of potentially a bit more forgiveness from that one, to think, okay, well if I can get a bit more forgiveness, you know, can I get it to a bit of a longer shaft potentially, or anything like that. So things like that always change, but yeah, we try and get them to use more and more new stuff, but sometimes it's not always easy, you know, they get set in the way, so.
I guess you get some finicky customers.
Yeah, it's like anything. I mean, all we're doing on here is building things, like you stated with the loft, we're just building things to a little bit more of an exact science. You know, swing weights are usually done to the point of a swing weight, so rather than a D1 or a D2, it goes to D2.3, D2.4, we tend to be a little bit more accurate like that. You know, it's just things like that the players probably more get used to more than anything and go, right, this is what I like. You know,
and they're obviously a bit more fine-tuned for that, aren't they? They're going to notice little changes.
The stories of Jimenez being able to pick up a club and he'll know if it's a different swing weight within half a swing weight, he'll know.
Really?
And you think, I don't believe it, and you put it on the scale and it's right. So you're like, okay, fair enough. This guy knows what he's doing. So yeah, you get a little bit of that, but generally speaking, everything we do, we build is exactly the same as a factory. Nothing is out of the ordinary in that sense. So
I think that's a big thing, isn't it? Because I think a lot of customers or golfers would perceive like the tour guys get completely different product as they would off the shelf. But in a way, it's probably built differently. Obviously.
Yeah, and the process is the same. The only things that really change are the shaft. So as we know, the guys out on tour are generally using more aftermarket shafts,
yeah.
which is probably why we've started to introduce things like the hazardous yellow, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a much better selection now, isn't there?
We're trying to obviously offer people that and try and get them to use that. One interesting thing though is that we see guys in hybrids, in our hybrids, that are slipping more towards our tour shaft. We find them very hard to kind of deviate from that. They like that shaft. So, you know, I think the amateurs probably think that they're getting a less of a deal.
Yeah.
From what we do with these guys, but I would say not. You're just getting exactly the same product.
Yeah.
The heads are exactly the same. The irons are exactly the same. There's nothing fancy about them.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the things that hold them together. The shaft is something different sometimes, but again, you get fitted by Ping, you'll get the shaft that works for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, so it works that way.
Yeah. So what are these stations around here, Matt?
So basically, if we kind of think about how an order comes to us, so Dominic, who's our fitter and tour manager, he goes out with his Trackman, goes out on the range with the guys. They do some work and say, okay, I want to do some work on driving. The order then comes in. So essentially all I get is a ticket to build it. So it will be a drive. So the first stage is, it will be on then, it'll tell me what head they need. So when we go from a head, we will then get the box of heads out, or the drawer of the heads. And so we'll look for what we need. LS Tech heads, G400 standard heads in 10.5. And we'll then pick a head out. Okay, what we'll generally try and find as well is it will try and fine tune them. So as you know, they'll have 10.5 written on the bottom, but like we said, there may be a little bit of a change in that one, or we might change the hosel setting as well, so obviously the plus and the minus. So we'll try and hit an exact lot for the players. So they might want 10.4 or 0.6 off with the minus, small minus. So we'll try and find that. Then from there, we'll go to a shaft. So let's say they come in and they say, right, we need a hazardous T1100, let's say. So this is something like that Louis uses, the T1100. So we'll take one out. And all we'll end up doing is we'll, generally speaking, we'll very rarely put this straight into an adapter. So rather than putting it straight on and then gluing the adapter straight on, we'll generally have what we call tipping instructions.
Yeah.
So Dominic will say to me, okay, I want to tip it by half an inch, whatever it may be. So we'll take that from the tip end, measure it on the ruler.
And that's changing what, flex?
Yeah, just changing launch conditions really. Yeah, so players generally, we're always trying to get them to hit an optimum window that works for them. Everyone is different as well. So you've got guys that present it with loads of loft at impact, you've got guys that present it with absolutely zero loft at impact, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to get it to kick up. Yeah. So the shaft is going to make a difference to that. A lot of the shaft is driven by how the player wants it to feel as well. So you might have guys that want to feel something like this T1100 that feels like it does not move, and when you're trying to bend it, you can even feel that it's like a poker. And so when we're tipping them, we're just kind of fine-tuning that movement really. Yeah. We're saying, okay, we can make it a little bit lower by tipping it, or we can leave as it is, and it can just flight it a little bit higher. And so most people, it probably wouldn't make that much difference. That's why you think people say, oh, I should have mine tips, but it's the repetitiveness of these guys that do it over and over again. So then we'll go from that, and obviously we'd move on to what we need to do.
And do you find with the guys on tour, are they kind of very led by kind of numbers, or is there a bit of a fashion with shafts? I know there's certain shafts at the moment a lot of players seem to be putting in.
The thing is, when something comes out new, that's the big thing. If something comes out new and somebody wants it, then they will say, right, yeah, we want to try that. Some guys tend to stay with one product all the way through as well. They don't really, they say, okay, well, I really like the way that an O-band shaft feels, and you struggle to get them out of that. Yeah. Guys don't, you tend to find guys won't want to change if it's going well. Yeah. It's only if things go wrong that you start to find guys may want to change things. Yeah. But yeah, so that's it. So on that point, we get to this stage and we say, right, we're going to build that shaft at this tip, this length. To that point, then we find the head, we stick the tip in, and then for a tip, when we're building them, all we do to kind of speed the process up is just exactly like the factory. Once we've glued the tip in, okay, we just put it into this machine here, which is basically a cooker. So this gauge here gives you a temperature that it's coming out at and a timer. So we just set it to number 2, which is obviously this one, and the timer starts to count down. And all it's doing is acting as a catalyst, the heat there, to basically get the epoxy to go off a little bit quicker. So it just means that we can go from a driver being built, from the order coming in to the going out the door to be playable in probably, for most average people, like a day, let's say, in the factory.
Yeah.
Here we can churn the driver out in 10 minutes if we needed to. That's
and they're hitting it on the range.
They're hitting on the range in 10 minutes.
But like you said, you're getting the order through exactly the same as the factory on a label.
Different. It's coming through as a label, yeah. The difference is a handwritten ticket.
A birth certificate.
That's it. That's all it is, essentially, yeah. And all we do at the end of the week is then obviously marry them up with every club is serial number just the same.
Yeah.
Marry them up to what they are. So yeah, from that stage, once we feel happy, we've got the head that we want, okay, and we've then got the shaft that we want and the tipping that we need. We obviously then basically essentially put it all together, and we move on to the digital loft and lie. And all we'll do is make sure that if we're setting this one, let's say in the standard position, we want to take a little bit of loft off it, we'll put it in the small minus or the big minus, which obviously anyone else can do on that one, just changing the loft.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure we hit the desired loft that we need.
Okay.
At that point we know we've got loft happy, we've got the flex of the shaft that we need and the model of the shaft. Then we move it over to the measuring of the length. So what we're doing there is, generally speaking, most guys on tour are using shorter than the average. So although they're looking for distance, the guys on tour are also looking for control as well. So they want to find the middle of that face more often. You find that ladies tend to have a really long shaft, so you're going like 46 inches in some of the ladies' stuff. On tour, the men's shafts are much shorter, looking at 45 and a quarter, 45 and a half really is your kind of normal length. You don't really get guys going much longer than that.
Even though the guys have probably got the strength.
Absolutely, yeah.
For that, like you said, they're more interested in the strike being good to give that
realise
consistency.
as well that it's balls in play that count. Yeah. You know, it's all right in another 10 yards or whatever, but if you're 10 yards further into the rubbish, you're not going to score. Yeah. You know, so these guys are looking to sacrifice that. And the thing as well is that with modern technology, the ball goes a long way as it is. We all know that now from the distance these guys are hitting it. So yeah, from that point, we get it cut, obviously measure it, get it across to here, put it on our saw, cut the shaft to the length, and we're pretty much almost done at that point. So at this point then, once we've got it all built, we'll kind of show you on this putter that we've got already in here. So this is essentially at that stage. We've got the club that we need, we've got the shaft length that we need, and so then we go on to taping it. So our tape is exactly the same as what they use in the factory. The same, just single double-sided spiral. The only things that ever change on the truck, and it is the same in the factory, anyone can order it, is that we do different layers of tape.
Yep.
But that's kind of something that is not bespoke to the tour. Anyone can ask for 2 extra layers of tape. Yeah. And we do exactly the same. We just use the layers of masking tape to either build it up. The only thing we do sometimes for speed, we use the black tape, which just adds more layers quicker. That'll add 3 layers quicker, that's all. Yeah. And that's all we do. So the same principle. Things that we like to do on the truck though, is just to make it look a little bit neater. So we'll cut it off at an angle. So we basically get the bottom angle there. We'll measure it up against our gauge, just like we do on the factory. And we just try and get every spiral as tight as we possibly can. If we get any rips or any tears. Line it up with a grip gauge. Spiral it round. Getting them tapes as tight as we possibly can. All the way to the end. Finishing it off just the same as doing the factory. Finish it off from the top. Open our bias. Drop it in as square as we can. Again, it's just like a normal drip tray. All it's going to do so we get a fresh grip out. This just allows our fluid to come out. So same as any other pro shop, or like I said in the factory, fill it up, give it a shape.
Just like that.
That's it, slide it on. All we'll then do is just check the alignment. And at this point, generally speaking, if it's like a putter or something like this, or like a one-off club, then we just get it where we feel it's happy with.
So would you generally have a player here, maybe stand and watch
definitely,
and then he'll be like straightening his hands, like that.
So we just basically hand it to the player and say, right, you tell me what you need, and they'll move it where it is. The thing is with it is that it's not saying that our eye's wrong or that their eye's right or wrong. It's just how the player wants to see it.
Yeah.
You know, some players do like to see it a little bit open, so like Bubba's driver, he has it in a really odd position. Like
yeah, we saw his full set.
Yeah, exactly. So you see how kind of strange it is, and his gripping is just odd in the sense of how he wants it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people ask the question, why does he have so many layers of tape and then a thinner grip?
Yeah.
Simple answer is he wants it to feel hard.
Yeah.
He doesn't want it to feel spongy. So you know, it's things like that.
Personalities.
Exactly, yeah, and it's no different to else. So you could say to somebody, there you go. But most people want it on square, and why would anyone else want it not square? But some players just see it a certain way.
Yeah.
The other way we do it as well is that we just take a reference of it before you cut somebody's off. Just take a reference of it.
Yeah.
So you get somebody who comes on like Martin Kine, who's had his grip on there since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, I don't really want to get this wrong. So you're really kind of eyeing it up and making sure that everything is exactly as you see it, and just trying to replicate.
And do you hold sort of records of players' specs?
Yeah, so like, especially on the loft and lie, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, then from that point, once we've had it gripped, we'll then go across, and with a driver, we just create a swing weight, basically. So obviously with a driver, we'd get a desired swing weight. Dominic might say they want it at D3, which is our standard sort of driver swing weight. They might go to D5, because we're quite heavy if you get a lot of the strong guys. And then obviously you've got our normal digital scale here. So I'll grab a driver that we've got, and you guys can see how we kind of scale it if you want.
Charger.
I'm trying to think of the quickest way of doing one for you guys to see.
So you swing weight in this map here.
Yeah, so currently at the minute we've got a D3.5, so what we class that as D3 plus really.
Okay.
Okay, so we might have a player that wants it a little bit heavier, so we're going to use the same system that they would in the factory. We'll just use the keys to undo the back weight. Okay, and all these weights are coming through different weights, so we'll work from here on the range of our weights. You can see them from there. We go from 6, what we class as a 6 plus, so it's in between 7, 8 plus, 10s, 11 plus, 13, your 14 pluses, your 16, 17 plus. Obviously, I haven't got any in. We don't really use that many in this one. This end 18. So generally speaking, we're going to be kind of this kind of road. Yeah. This is when you're starting to get people like seriously like heavy swing weights. So you'll see here we're going from a 7 weight there, which is coming out at 3.5. So if we go to like an 8 plus, they might say only go to like maybe D4, a little bit heavier. You see as the scale goes up and down. D4.1. So for us that would be near enough. So you see how we're just changing one weight at the bottom there.
What's that gram difference there between those two?
Literally, if we were measuring here, you're going to be looking at probably a 7 gram should come out at exactly 6.97, and an 8 plus 8.3, 8.4, somewhere around there. So it's not that much difference, but that makes a difference to the players.
To a feel.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and so it's a case of we want to try and get them.
So that'll be the last process. You've gone through the gripping, head, and then the last process is the swing weight.
Just swing weights, yeah. So we now got the club ready to go. So the player will say, okay, well, I'm happy with that one. And all we then do is just screw it back in. At that point, it's ready to go. The head's on the right setting. It's got the right loft. It's got the right shaft, the right tipping, the right tapes under the grip, the correct grip on. And then all we literally do from that point is put it straight into this bag up here, which is the collections bag. So it's at the end of our workshop effectively, in this divider here, so Dominic can then come in. We've got something there for Adam Bland or whoever it is, of the ticket, pick it up, and it's done.
Let's go.
And it's literally, in the time it's taken me to talk you through it, would have been the time it takes to build up.
Yeah.
Literally as quick as that. And it has to be that quick. You know, the guys are going to be going on.
Yeah, they want to get straight out and use it, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the guys are going out there. They maybe going out for a practice round, or they're going out for whatever it might be, and they want to test something to get it out.
Yep.
You know, so it's realistically speaking, it's quick. It has to be as fast as it can possibly be.
Yeah.
You know, and as accurate as it can possibly be. You know.
Superb.
So, no problem.
Yeah, great little setup on here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Could do with one of these ourselves.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, you're more than welcome to it.
Right.